Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. Welcome home to you. There are a lot of things that are in the cosmos right now. Stress, uneasiness, and anxiety tends to kick up in the summer because we are more inflamed and because we have more heat. And whatever thoughts, whatever emotions are in the heart center, I don't know how to talk about, whatever emotions we might be feeling. Sometimes we think like, oh, I took a class in like 1998, and when I was in pigeon pose, I felt my emotions because the yoga teacher said that emotions are in the hips. Emotions are all over the body, but they're really in the subtle body. Even by lifting your arm, there's stored trauma there, right? There is stored energetics within the subtle body of the energy. Now, segueing from that, the heart is where all of the emotions are triggered. They can either take us up into joy and into enlightenment and into compassion and all the things that we want to hold on to, that we want to feel, or they can take us into the lower chakra, fear and anger and uncertainty and low self-esteem, or whatever it is that you are feeling. When you have air, now the element associated with the heart and with the upper chakras, when we're overthinking, when we're enjoying the beautiful sky, or if we're taking vacation during this time in the summer months, in the Pitta season, if you're in the northern hemisphere, the flame of whatever emotions that might be in the back of our mind, back gate of our chakras, starts to kick up. So not just the physical heat. When we turn up the heat to cook our food, it takes it from raw to burnt sometimes, depending on if you're watching a pot, or we can take it and simmer it. And right now, I like to call July the midway point, because it's that segue of 3 weeks into the summer, where you're now going to begin to start to feel the summer. The real heat is going to start to kick in. And if we don't manage the emotions that we're feeling, that heat is going to, when we add fire to air, or air to fire, it becomes a conflagration. And that's something that we don't want. So today's practice, if you were with me for the past few weeks, I was talking about the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and that was one of the major books that was written, translating the yogic wisdom from the Vedas, but more so, why am I referencing this in this very tiny sliver of class today? Well, because the majority of the postures that are taught. In the West, we focus a lot on asana, and that's only one limb. The totality, as we know, is 8 limbs of yoga, and really the embodiment. What am I feeling? Where's my breath work, my meditation, how I'm treating myself, how I'm treating others, and then going inward, right? That external focus, that one-pointed focus, dharana dhyana leads to samadhi. Now, all of that is very crucial, because during the summer months, if we're distracted and if we're playing into the emotions, we're playing into the elements, we're playing into it's really hot, and we're letting the emotions get triggered, the subtle body of whatever else might be underlying, kind of like a tremor, might come about. So cooling practices today, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, always stated and translated the Vedic wisdom to remind us that the majority of postures, there are only about 85 real postures that were written from the Vedas. I'm pointing over there at my bookcase. I don't know if you can see it. Which one? There's like art on one side and then like yoga on one side. Most of these postures are seated. In the West, we have an entire rainbow, an entire spectrum of asana practice, right? Which is wonderful, but it's still only one branch. So today, we're going to incorporate all 8. We're going to go through the 8 limbs. I'm not teaching it in terms of a workshop. That'll be for the fall, so definitely make sure you attune for that. Going to go through the 8 limbs. We're starting on the floor. Make sure that you have a strap handy. We're going to take some breath work, but we're going to keep class a little tempered today, because again, we're in this apex of like right where we start to kick up the major heat of the summer. Whatever that you've been feeling stressed about, we can turn that negative into transmutation, into transformation. I want you to bring it into your mind's eye. And if you're coming in to practice with something, maybe it's court, maybe it's caring for a loved one, maybe it is signing a lease, maybe it is just not knowing, bring that in. Come onto your backs, and you can bring the arms into a soft cactus. Once again, bring into your heart center, into the emotions, into the cauldron. Whatever it is that has been occupying the real estate of your mind. Yes, it's beautiful. We're having a gorgeous time with these pockets of sun and, nice weather, or getting out of the house, or spending time with loved ones. But the duality of that is also whatever has been irritating you, what has been causing concern, friction. Once you have whatever it is that you're feeling, I want you to put it into the cauldron of your heart. See yourself now stirring the pot. Visualize all of the ingredients of emotions, even ones that you don't know that are settled at the bottom. See yourself stirring with whichever hand you prefer the emotions, the cauldron of emotions within that. And I'm going to invite you to keep your eyes closed as we use this visual imagery and guided imagery today with our practice. Let your knees fall over to the right side and continue to stir. And as you're stirring this big pot, this cauldron or soup of emotions, sometimes when we make soup, it could be a gazpacho, it could be a lentil soup, it could be whatever is your heart's desire at this moment. I know sometimes we don't want to eat soup in summer, but warm foods actually activate cooling and body. And once you start to stir your soup, you might notice that certain things kick up. It might be a carrot, it might be a pea, it might be a potato. You might see joy. You might see the word lust. You might see the word chocolate, craving. Whatever it is, start to see as you continue to stir the pot. Knees over to the right side. Still breathing into that left hip. See the cauldron of emotions, just different words probably. Keep your feet on the ground, eyes closed. Slowly let your knees and your pelvis come back to center, and let your knees fall over to the opposite side. And then as you start to let the pot now just bubble, let it do what it's doing without you stirring. You can put the ladle on the side, the spoon on the side. Notice what might be bubbling up, what words, what phrases, what emotions might find a new one, just surprising, scarcity. You might find some words in there that you haven't even touched or seen since high school. Take a smooth breath to inhale. And just keep this mind frame. As you exhale, let your feet come back to the ground, let your knees come back to center. And as you're exhaling, I want you to notice that you've just observed. You didn't attach to the emotions. You just witnessed yourself practicing visualization as well as asana. And you weren't attached to either. Left hand to heart, right hand to belly. You became the observer, observing the cauldron that is always inside of you. your ability to detach from ego, to detach to any one of those striking emotions, and simply watch as the pot bubbles. Reminds us that you are having a human experience, but you are completely unlimited. You are not those emotions. You are pure light and pure love and pure wholeness. So take a deep breath to inhale. Open up your mouth and sigh the breath out. Notice how the back gate of your heart has pressed into it. So you can keep your eyes closed, keep this state that you've now created for yourself, and draw your left knee into your chest, hands around your left shin bone, extend that right leg. Circle the ankle a few times. I'm going to ask you to now draw that right knee into the right side armpit. You can hold onto it and hug it on the left side. So it's almost as if you are opening up the inner thigh, not using the strap yet. And now we're going to do this on the opposite side, right? But I want you to, you can peek up at me if you'd like. You're going to take that right knee to the corner of your left shoulder. Right? And it's going to feel a little weird. The butt cheeks need to stay on the floor here. This is a great piriformis opener. If you have long limbs, or if you can, you're going to take that left hand, reach it to the outside of that right foot. And you're going to flex the foot here again. This is a gluteus stretch. Back body is on the ground. Piriformis, hip opener. It's almost as if you're taking pictures. Now continue this roll. You're going to roll over onto the right side. The left side. Right knee is going to touch the left side. Left hand to the outside of that right side thigh. Open up the left side shoulder. If you're getting injuries like I do, definitely place a block or a bolster to support. And then draw the energy from the top of your right hip down, away from your rib cage. Almost as if you are creating more space there, more length. Do a little bit longer. See if you can continue to keep the eyes closed. The eyes are almost like a veil. They say that the eyes are the windows to the soul, but really, the eyelids are. So when you close the shutters, when we close our blinds, we close out the outside world, we come into our own space, our own realm. Same thing here, we close our eyelids, our eye curtains. Draw that right knee back in. Take a moment here, pause. We're going to switch sides because I want us to balance everything right away today. So before you press down, take this right foot, press it down to the ground. Engage your core, navel into spine. Lift that left leg up. And just take a moment here as you activate the back body, right side hip, right side glute. Flex that left leg. Smooth breath here to inhale. Lower your back. One vertebrae at a time. Left knee comes in. Interlace the fingers on that left shoulder. Circle the ankle a few times. Circle the opposite side. Extend that right leg in front. Keep peeling the toes back towards you. Keep softening that right side hip flexor. You're going to hug that right knee. You can peek at that knee if you'd like. Hold on to the shin bone. Get it as high as possible. Open it up into the armpit. Right? So just hugging it into the armpit on the side. I like to keep my right hand on my right hip. Clearly I'm doing opposites. Keeping that right side body down. The same thing here. We're going to take the left knee, cross it over diagonally. So there's a diagonal line, energetic line. It's not a literal line. And you want to keep your thighs close to your chest as possible. This is something that I do if I'm stretching a client or hands-on in class.
right? You put a little bit of weight here, keep this left side hip down. It's almost as if you are experiencing pigeon pose on your back. Right hand can go to the outside of that left foot. And again, if there were a goal or an aim here, it's to make that diagonal, that connection of right shoulder to left knee. It really opens it up. Spine is anchored. Come back to center, pause here for a moment. We're going to press that left foot down, left heel presses down, navel draws back to spine. Lift that right leg up, peel the toes back. Feel the strength of your body here. Don't disregard your strength, your muscles, your tissues, your ligaments, your bones. Okay, so just being one and just appreciating. Thank you. Lower, roll down one vertebrae at a time. Take your time here. Lower that right leg down, all the way down. You're going to stretch the spine. Blocks off to the side, bolsters off to the side. First thing we're going to do is reach the arms up, banana asana. Walk both feet over to the right lower corner. Pause here. Hips stay where they are. Shimmy the shoulders. And the hands don't have to touch here, right? Especially if you have injuries. Just making sure that the arm bones are on the ground. And you're looking like the letter C, like a banana. Feel that outer stretch run down the IT band on the left side. Feet over to the right, arms over to the right. If you need a little bit more intensity, if you feel it's not going to take you into pain. It's going to keep you into that realm of your cauldron. Again, if you feel comfortable, close the eyes. Keep stirring that pot. Notice what you might be feeling in your physical body. The rishis, the ancient seers from whom we actually have the translations of the Upanishads and the Vedas, knew that the body is a gateway, right? The soul is or the spirit, the individual 𝗔𝗿𝗁𝗏, as we refer to in Sanskrit. The 𝗔𝗿𝗁𝗏, individual expression, is consciousness or spirit, Dharma, making itself known. And one of the gateways is through the physical body. It's not the whole one. Uncross your left leg. If it's crossed, take your time and stay in that realm. Drag your body. Let your feet come back to center. Pause here for a moment and observe. Each one of us has something different happening, right? If you are tired or if you haven't slept, that's going to affect your nervous system, your physical bones, your muscles. If you have an injury, if you have scoliosis, if you have postural or alignment issues, pausing in between side bends is very crucial for your spine and for your pelvis and for the physical body to come back to a place of cycle. So just notice, just as you did, stirring the cauldron, what might be popping up, without passing judgment, without writing it out. And then walk your feet over to the opposite side, left side. Hips stay where they are. Shimmy the shoulders over to the upper left. Reach the arms up. Don't have to touch. And then again, before rushing into cross the ankle, discern. Do you even need to on this side? What's happening on this side? And coming back to my story of the rishis, the rishi knew that in order to really understand life, one has to be in tuned with nature, with the elements. the elements give us basically a mirrored reflection of what's happening within the cell around them. Now, one person can come into class and experience this side bend and it can feel joyful, and another person can experience the same posture and it can feel horrific. And the answer isn't because of the posture. The answer lies within the subtle, within the nature of what we cannot see. Now, with that knowing, the rishis knew that it was the most important health benefit for us to move our spine. And one of my very first teachers, foundational master teacher Hammock always said to move the spine in 6 different ways, so this is why we side bend. Walk your feet back, take your time, be lazy about it. Being lazy about how you're bringing your body into form and alignment, pause when you get back to center, is a conscious action. It does not mean that you are not active. Take your time now. Once you feel your spine aligned, draw your shoulders away from your ears. Notice if they're up. And then we're going to find your strap. Hopefully it's close by. We'll find our strap. And then draw that right leg in again. Loop your strap around the ball of the right foot. Extend, drawing the arm bones into the ground. Keep keeping the toes back. Let the eyes soften here. And notice if you can feel the sensation. Actually, we're going to pause. We're going to open this up. Take your foot out. I'm going to teach you banana asana. Sorry, Hammock Pose today. You're going to take your strap.
I'm going to undo my strap so that way, in case you have never used the strap, I know most of us have, but in the event that you haven't, I'm going to teach you Hammock Pose today. You're going to unloop your strap, make sure it's not tied up. Again, loop it through both if you have a double, and then take it through the single one on the opposite side. So basically it's a belt loop, making sure that everything is straight and taut. Now we want to bring it to a point where we're not stressed in the neck. And the strap goes around the bulbous part of our head. So I'll show you what this looks like here. It goes right where my ponytail would be. So for me, I'm going to put it right there. Don't know if you can see where that is. And then our foot, or one foot, goes here. So I'll show you what that looks like to get into. I could have sworn I taught this before. Maybe it's a few years ago. All right. So once you have that, loop the strap around the back of your crown. And from here, you place your foot. The head should not be on the ground. There we go. And you're able to suspend. I'm going to pause here for a moment. You can always adjust this, making sure that it's tighter or looser. Again, we don't want to stress the body, but this takes the pressure off of the arms, doing external or extra. We don't want any extra right now. Why don't we want any extra? Is it because we're lazy or because we aren't active? No, it's because in the fire time of summer season, we need cooling practices. It doesn't mean kapha practices, right? But we need cooling practices to subdue that heat. So the less we're pulling, even activating the hands, and just allowing the weight of the crown, notice that there's space for an apple between my chin and chest, I'm going to come peek up. For those of you that are live, so stay where you are if you're doing this recording. Awesome. And then Betsy, you can actually exactly give yourself a little bit more pressure with the head. So the head should not be on the ground at all, right? This is literally your head's in a hammock. This is a great way to put an eye pillow on, by the way. Put an eye pillow on your face and make this a restorative active pose. I know it's the complete opposite, restorative active pose. Sometimes I make things up. Now, why is this active? Because you can actually feel your hamstring opening up. There is work involved, right? But you're resting into it. You're not activating by force. Let the arms splay out here. And come back to that visual of stirring the cauldron. What do you see? Let's witness. Think of your mat as your laboratory. It's a place where you can come explore. You might, this week, have a different chemical reaction that can come. Keep your hands on the ground. Keep the backs of your hands on the ground if you can. And you're going to gently steer that right leg. You're going to turn your head with it so it's not torquing your neck. Hip stays on the ground. Draw that right leg about 5% over to the left side. So same thing that we would do, only the hands are on the ground. Using the backs of the hands as leverage. The back of your head is creating this gorgeous resistance. I feel this in the calf. I feel it in the hamstring. I feel it in the neck. Back to center. Take your head slightly open up the right side of the body over to the right side diagonal. Pause. Again, a little bit mild here, medium over start. Center. Slowly start to bend that left knee. Bring your left leg in. You can keep double hammock here for a moment. It's a really good way. You can peek up and see this. You can keep a little bit of a bend in the knees. Keep peeling the toes back. It's a great way to elongate the spine and backs of the legs and create support. Left leg stays in. This time the right leg is going to come out. Draw that right leg down. And again, give yourself the adjustments that you need. One side might be tighter. One side might need a little bit more slack. One side might need a little bit more. When we work with the elements instead of against the elements, right? Meaning, if it's blazing hot outside, it's actually not the time for us. And I'm speaking from a place of doing it for decades. It is not the time to be working out hardcore and lots of cardio. It's actually the time to relax, to rest, to be mild, to not work out every single day, or maybe a few times. It's giving yourself the nuance of tempering. Right? You know, we temper our heat. I like to say low and slow. When you're cooking something that's low and slow, the consistency and the warmth and the flavors all meld together much better than if we cook something or sear it. And it's one shot, it's not sustainable, it's not consistent. It could be delicious, it could look fantastic. But what we're after here is the longevity and the deliciousness of alignment. Subtle alignment and visible alignment.
draw that right leg, sorry, your left leg over to the right side. Take your head back there. So turn your head to the point where your leg is staring and you're not torquing your neck. And then keep observing your body. The best place to ever observe your body is on the ground. Literally, it's because our spine is supported. We can't try to compromise the body. It's so fascinating. It's a fantastic computer. It's always trying to solutionize. Take that right leg slightly over to the right side. So again, just a mild variation here. It's like maybe putting in the seeds of a chili. Sorry, not taking out the seeds of a chili and just putting the chili in just for the flavor. The seeds and raw chili. Temper that heat, bring that right leg back, bend your left leg, and slowly put both feet into the hammock pose. If you've made any adjustments to your strap, like I did, I tightened it a little bit more, one side's a little bit more accessible for me, you might notice now that my knees are very bent, right? Because that has to align. I want you to start to accept these things about your body and make the adjustments that are needed. I'm not going to force you to straighten my legs. I'm going to instead keep pressing the back of my crown into the strap, and I'm going to keep lengthening my tailbone and my sits bones towards the opposite spectrum here. So opposite directions, you're going to feel a lengthening of the spine, you're going to feel an opening of the back here. It's kind of like a supported plow pose, only you're not on your shoulders. The neck is supported. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. Feel that low back opening up. Open up your mouth and let the breath out. You're going to notice that the lungs deflate your back bones. Get a little bit closer to the ground. So let's do that one more time. I know the mic is very close, so I'm going to try to exhale softly. Inhale. Keep your knees bent. Bend your knees. Remove your strap. Hug your knees in. You're going to find Malasana. Squat pose on your back. You're going to bring your hands in between your thighs. Find your squat pose here. Keep pressing your thumbs to your heart center. Triceps open up the inner thighs. Feet are flexed. Peel the toes back. Lengthen your tailbone down. Take a moment here. Draw the knees back in. Keep lengthening your spine. Knees over to the left side. Roll to that left side shoulder. Right hand on top of the right side shoulder. Draw that line open. Keep extending so it's a double supine. Close the eyes and soften. Stir the cauldron. As you stir the cauldron, I want you to feel the length of that right side armpit. Feel the right side shoulder. Feel the opening. Angle that right top hip away from the lowest rib. Keep stirring the cauldron. Just see the words, see the emotions. Come up. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. Feel your lungs lift you off the ground. Don't actively do it yourself, right? So just be attuned and in tune, observe the nature of your body as you inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. Right hand's right shoulder, right elbow up. time as you curl yourself over to the left side. Use this right hand now to push down to the ground and draw yourself back to center. Awesome. Keep pressing the back of the crown down to the ground, almost as if you're still in Hammock Pose. Thumbs in the middle of the heart. Feet flexed, knees open up. Keep squeezing the inner thighs against the triceps. Tail up, moving down. Draw the knees in. Roll over to the right side. Hug yourself. Keep the knees where they are. Right hand to the outer left hip. The left hand to your shoulder. Draw the line. Open up. Give yourself the support that you need. Keep your eyes closed and stir the cauldron. Notice what's arising from the left armpit. Breathe into the left armpit, left rib cage. Anchor that left hip down and away from you. Take a smooth breath here to inhale. Open your mouth and exhale the breath. Stir the cauldron again. Notice what emotions might be coming up. See the words. Take a smooth breath to inhale. Observe how the lungs move you away from the earth. As you exhale, notice how the bones draw you back down. Left hand to left shoulder, left elbow up, over to the right side palms. And just find neutral. When the tail presses down to the earth, come back to center. Take your time. Mulasana, squat pose one more time. Beautiful thing about being able to practice. Postures that would normally do seated or standing on the ground is that we have the fluid guidance. Take a smooth breath to inhale, draw your knees into your chest. Take a moment here. You're going to rock and roll forward and back. Over to the right or left side and come into table pose. So however that looks like for you, I want you to start to explore your creativity. Nothing is set in stone. So getting creative, hands underneath you, flat cat-cows here. Close the eyes, broaden across the chest. Exhale. Navel to spine, tops of the toes. Can you start to luxuriate and bathe in cat-cow? Can you find those places where you're enjoying and extending and accentuating that emotion? Notice if you've already finished. See if you can extend it. This time, as you inhale into cow pose, I want you to feel the skin of your belly drawing all the way up through your throat. Peek up at me for a moment. So it's drawing all this way. You can even use the 𝗩𝗏𝗏 if you are familiar with that one. Belly, chest, back, crown, mid-brain. As you take this,
Notice that my neck is not compressing, right? There's an elongation. So I'm feeling the skin of my belly, and it wraps around like a cobra hood. So the eyes and the face don't have to look up all the way. It's that feeling that's emanating from the lower belly. And then the same thing, the palms push down here, like webbing of the hands, draw and protract the shoulder blades away. Take it one more time. Try that. It's almost as if your heels are scrubbing back. It's almost as if you're giving yourself resistance in every pose to create more length on the spine. Come back to neutral spine. Take that left arm up. We're going to do a little bit of thread the needle. So left arm underneath the right side shoulder. Roll the right shoulder on top of the left. Pulse your right hand to your sacrum. Roll that shoulder over. One of the major components that is bypassed quite a lot is the full complete breath. Full inhalation and full exhalation. Then you're able to be comfortable in any seat also. In a pose. Left arm's going to go up. Left hand underneath you. Right hand's going to go up. Smooth breath through your inhale. Right hand's going to thread underneath that left arm. Right ear to the neck. Back stroke that left hand to your sacrum. Roll with the left shoulder. And then close the eyes. Notice if you're over-efforting. I will show this. As a dancer, I was always taught that if a teacher has to correct you when you're paying attention, but you always wanted a teacher to correct you because they were paying attention. We'll talk about that after class. But part of how I was taught as a dancer, and especially going through school, Joffrey School, right, is that you watch, you observe, and because that has been observation and self-awareness, proprioception, all of these concepts have been ingrained at such a young age. Sometimes, if you have a dance background, as many of you do, that practice with me, we can tend to overcorrect, right? So I'm sharing with you that for a very long time, I was overcorrecting, and I didn't think that I was in the right posture and quite alignment. And if that happens to you, you're in the right company. Left hand down, right arm up. The practice of yoga is actually meant to bring us out of that brain, out of the reptilian brain. 3 parts of the brain, it's a whole other workshop. Fall is going to be laden with workshops. You see me crawling right now, and it's because I want to show you a few options, right? If you need to pad your knees, please absolutely do that. We're going to open up the elongation here of the upper spine. Now, you can do this. I have a low chair here. You can do this. The hands don't have to touch, but the sinking of the belly, we don't want to go back into cat-cow. Right? You want to find a place where the shoulders are drawn away from the ears. The head is supported, and you're just really feeling the arms. If you don't have a piece of furniture that's close by, as most of us don't, you can always do this on blocks or bolsters. So you want to start on the high side, right? So you're not, especially when you're working within the range of any type of injury, right? So this is a great way to start it on the high side. If it's still not high enough, this is where you can bring it close. And again, we're drawing. You can't see this, but I don't know if that made it worse. I'm going to tuck this in up here for a moment. I'm not dipping. I'm clearly not dipping, right? So it's a nice straight spine. So you can peek up. My navel is drawn in. So it is active. It's a bit too high for me. Most important thing, and then you can lower the blocks to the adjustable height. Nothing to accomplish here. It's just really observing and working. working within what you can maintain. And again, if you do this quite often, this is great for tight shoulders, tight traps, triceps. This is really great way to elongate the shoulders, which tends to happen when you're at buttocks, bottom. If you're already creative, if you are already someone who thinks a lot, observes a lot, so chances are you don't want to make any mistake. Chances are you have a lot of buttocks in your direction. So the last thing you want to do is make the heat more important. Smooth breath, inhaling on the spine, slowly come up. So we're going to take two postures today, just to open up the backs of the legs. And we're going to go straight into it today. So as you can see, I'm coming from table pose. I'm just going to step my right foot in between. We're going into pyramid pose. And slowly here, I'm going to lift this back leg up. Hop my left leg up, a little bit off of center. Hands underneath my shoulders. I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to deepen forward over that front leg. Now, short pyramid stance is great. If you want to take this a little bit lighter, you absolutely can. The focus is on the left heel. Keep drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. And go ahead and nod your head yes. Let gravity kind of take hold. Right, shake that side to side, shoulders. As always, overheated. And you're going to bend that back knee now. Flex your front leg. Take a smooth breath here. And then step that back leg forward. Inhale to nice smooth breath. You can use your hands as blocks. Climb back out of the Uttanasana. Exhale. Belly towards your thighs. Uttanasana. Keep that slight bend. And then draw that the right leg back. Anchor. Hands to blocks. Inhale, grow the spine long. Exhale, deepen forward. Draw that left hip back, right hip forward. Focus on that back heel, anchoring down. Pyramid pose. Gives us a chance to look like a tank. But really, pyramid pose is all about moving the energy of the subconscious and back body, rather than unconscious energy. Subconscious is within, and unconscious is in the back. Just bringing anything that needs to move the depths of the round over and needs to surface. And it's unknown, I notice in the face. Sometimes we can think that it's like, oh, it's something bad, it's in the dark. It's actually, we plant a seed in darkness and soil, it's covered up, there's no light. So then when we bring things to the surface, we're digging up what needs to, kind of like a potato blooms and then earth is pulled up, right? We reframe how we think about things. And we take less fear, less worry, and more possibilities. What if what you're bringing in to your light is abundance, is, food is abundance, it's nourishing, it's energetic. Smooth that bend down. Bend that back knee, flex that front leg. Tense the box of your knee. So think of it like that. I share that because a lot of times when I would be in my teacher's classes, I would do full pose, but I'm unconscious.
there's just so much anxiety that built up in me. Like, oh my God, what else? What else more do I need to know? I'm already observant. I'm already self-aware. So I hope that helps you if you have a tendency to keep doing more, wanting more, figuring out more. You're already doing and have enough tools. Smooth breath, inhale. Step that back like forward. Inhale, curl the spine out of the. Exhale, deep forward bend. Bend the knees so the belly lays on top of the thighs. Find the place where the hands are on the calves and ankles with every connection. Oracles are absolutely needed to reduce the excess of the excess. Overthinking, stimulation, creativity, energy. Now place your hands at the front of your body. Front plane of the body represents the present. And lift your hands up. Take a moment as you stand at Savasana. Let your head adjust. You can let yourself settle in, plug into the earth here. Takes you this way. Just let your shoulders draw away from your ears. Bring your palms to your heart center and feel what this feels like. So just stand in your own power. To be balanced, right side against left. Take a smooth breath to inhale. Take the arm straight. Inhale. Uttanasana. Exhale. Uttanasana. Stand up. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, open up the feet. Malasana. You can take this to the variation that you need to sit on a bolster, sit up, back. Left hand to the inside of the thigh, right arm. Inhale, lower the spine. Option to flip that right hand, take it behind you. And take this into bound tree. I'll show you what this looks like from the back. You can also use your strap. I'll show you what it looks like from the back. This way. So still opening up. My hand doesn't quite reach. I can use my strap. Notice that my spine, my shoulders are not rounded, and I'm using my spine to rotate the rib cage rather than my shoulders. I'll show you what that looks like. Back this way. Smooth breath here to inhale. Slowly unwind. Come back to center, take a moment. Right hand to the inside. Left arm's going to reach up. Send that palm all the way. Reach back. Yogi's choice, or you can take the bind. And you can use this. Honestly, this posture, so many people with binds, it has to do with your arm proportion. Right? I'll tell you honestly, so many Western postures, or so many postures in general, not every single posture is right for every person. Right? We can stress ourselves out over trying to accomplish something, and our anatomy doesn't yield that. Let's move back here. Exhale. Slowly unwind. Come back to center. Awesome. The beautiful thing about if you are already seated on a cushion, a bolster, something like that, you can come to a cross-legged seat. Drop the knees.
into a comfortable seat. You can sit like me if you'd like. I like to prop my knees up. It's just how I was taught. It's a little bit more comfortable. We're going to take a round of 𝗩𝗔𝗀𝗃 today, just to end on a balancing note. We'll take the right hand, I'm not mirroring you for this, we'll take the right hand, index finger, and don't know my hands, my fingers anymore. So you're going to draw the index finger and the middle finger down, and then you're going to close and block with your right side ring finger, the right nostril. Take a deep breath to inhale through the mouth. Close and block the left. Exhale out through the right. Inhale through the right. Gentle retention. Exhale out. Continue this 1-1-1 ratio. 1 count to inhale. 1 count to retain. 1 count to exhale. Next time you exhale through the right nostril, let your right hand float down to the top of the right. Next finger and thumb to touch. Keep your eyes closed and draw your tongue to the bottom half of your mouth. Soften here. See yourself now stirring that cauldron, stirring the heart center, stirring the emotional cauldron. Feelings on the spectrum. Notice the words that are popping up. Just observing. Take a smooth breath to inhale. As you exhale, see those words dissolving. See those emotions dissolving, neutralizing. And see the cauldron becoming clear, clean, smooth, raw, see-through, transparent. You can see now the word love arise, just floating to the very top. It's clear, with yourself, just feel this love that you're experiencing, almost as if you are behind the curtain. If you've ever performed on stage or walked backstage, knowing that the curtains are your eyelids, and right now you are temporarily shutting out the audience of the external world. And backstage, within your room, within your personal space, before you meet anyone else, is love. Just be in that. And what does that look like and feel like to you? Is it a green room filled with roses, teas? Is it luxurious hand balms and creams? Is it just the feeling of knowing that you're seen and understood, and that you don't have to explain yourself? Just feel love. Let's sit in this room a few more moments. Press your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Slide it behind the upper teeth. Bring your palms to your heart. Lightly rub them without making sound. Pull your palms away and you can feel this heat, this energy, contagious, radiating. Pull them a little further away. You can feel this heat charging, transforming. It was almost like a cloud, and you can shape it more. Take this heat and cover your eyes, healing your eyes. Cover your head, your brain, frontal cortexes, motor cortexes. Take them out to the side, right lobes. Back of the head, the occipital. One hand behind, one hand in front, cerebellum, cortexes. Just feel your whole brain healing, awakening, recharged. Bring your thumbs to the center of your brow, not dropping. Just offering up gratitude for the wisdom inside. Your hands to your heart. Lower your head. Just bowing to infinite wisdom of the heart center. That always runs clear. We come back to love. So knowing that when we stir